Hello everybody, in this video I'd like to show you how to do a join as you go. That means we're going to be working in granny squares, but on the last round we're just going to be joining them to squares we already have. This means you don't have to first work all your grannies and then join them together. We're going to join them as we go. So join as you go. I'll show you two important things here. I'll show you how to join along one edge. So for example, if I was to join a new square here, you'd only join on that edge. And I'll show you how to join on two edges. For example, this square has been joined on this edge and that edge. So I'll show you the one and the two edge join. Another thing, in this video I'm going to use double crochets to join. But in essence it's the same idea whether you use single crochets or double crochets or trebles or whichever stitch you have. But in this video I'll be doing the join as you go method using double crochet stitches. So first I'll show you the join on one edge. So I'll be joining a new square over here, and then I'll join a second square in this position. We would do this join here. I have here a granny square that I've already worked up for the first 4 rounds. So you've got here round 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in round 5 I'm going to join it to this test fabric I have here. So I've done the first 4 rounds of the square, so that's these 4, and on round number 5 I'll be joining it to the fabric I already have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just work to the corner, and then from the corner we'll join along this edge here. As such, it doesn't matter whether you join on this edge or on this one or on that one, or even on this edge here, although the edge where you've got the yarn is kind of more tricky, because you've got to do that in first join this section and then crochet all the way around and then do that last section, so you might find that a bit more uncomfortable. I'm just quickly going to work the rest of this first edge. I'm just going to chain 2 for my double crochet and then work a double crochet on every stitch. Another important tip when you do join as you go, close your rounds, your last round, with an invisible join, because that will also make your edges more neat. And another thing that you need to keep in mind is that you have all your joins in the same direction. And I'll show you what I mean by that later on. I'm almost to the corner, and then I'll just go a little bit slower to show you exactly how to do the next stitches. So I've now almost done the corner. I'm going to work 2 double crochets in the corner. The corner is 2 doubles, chain 2 and 2 doubles. I'm going to first work the 2 doubles, so that's 1 and this is 2. That's the first half of the corner. Now you would normally do a chain 2. I'm just going to do a chain 1. And now take the fabric where you want to join. I'm going to take this point here. So I'm assuming I want to join this square here in this position. So I'm joining along that edge there. Then to the corner of that second square, in that corner, attach there with a slip stitch. And there we go. This slip stitch replaces the second chain. Remember I had chain 2, but now I did chain 1 and a slip stitch. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more that you can just watch me even better. We're now going to do the next edge of double crochet stitches, but as we finish each double crochet we're just going to join it to the purple square here. I'm going to start from that slip stitch and in the chain 2 space with the other 2 double crochets that are still part of the corner. I'm going to start and work that first double crochet. Now before I do the next yarn over, I'm going to go through the stitch that's on the other side. If you look here, you see that there are the first 2 stitches, that very first stitch. just going to go through that stitch also. You see that? So that's the first stitch on that edge. But now I do have my yarn on the wrong side, so I'm just going to do that again, because of course you want the yarn at the top, not at the bottom of your work. So in that first stitch, look at it from the top. If you do it from this side, look, where's that first stitch? There's the first stitch. And then go into that stitch. Into that first stitch. Now you're going to yarn over and pull through all your loops. And this is your first join as you go stitch. The second stitch, again, now you need 2 in the corner. Double crochet, stop. Now you go to the next stitch. See that next stitch there? Pull through, pull through. The next stitch on this side is in that first stitch. So you're now going to work a double crochet on every stitch. Pull through the first part. And come to this side, and again just turn my work a bit, go to the next stitch and pull through all the loops. Again, the next stitch on this side, complete the double crochet until you have 2 loops left on your hook. And then insert your hook in the next stitch on the purple square and pull through all the loops on your hook. This I'm going to repeat until I'm to the other side, and then I need to do the corner again. So this method joins one square to the next as you go. And this method is the easiest if you have the same number of stitches either side. But if you sometimes need to fudge a stitch, that's of course also possible. Then you take the same stitch on one side and a new stitch on the other. Kind of depending on, I've got a yarn tail there, because this is just a swatch for me. This is not an actual piece or anything. I'm just moving through one stitch at a time. You can see that if you have an invisible join here, that instead of a slip stitch join, this edge is just going to look much nicer. So go to the next stitch. I'm just going to speed up a little bit because I want to get to the corner. See the next stitch there. Got 2 more left here on the edge before I get to my next corner, and 1 more. Now I'm at the corner. I've got here the chain 2 corner space. If you look to the purple square, you see there are 2 stitches left. You're going to work 2 stitches here in your corner and then join them on those 2 last stitches. Again, yarn over. So in the chain 2 corner space, start the double crochet, then come to your second last stitch, pull through everything, and then come and work the last one in the chain 2 corner space and join to the last purple stitch on that side. Now you've completely joined these two edges together. To go around the corner, go to the chain 2 space of the purple square and slip stitch into there. Chain 1. And now you can work this edge as though nothing has happened. Your corner, which was a chain 2 space, has again been replaced by a slip stitch and a chain 1. Along this edge I can now complete the corner. So in the chain 2 space from the white square, I'm going to work 2 double crochets. And then in each stitch work a double crochet till I get to the corner, and that's going to be a normal corner, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. In essence, what you're doing now is you're just completing the rest of the square as though just there's nothing going on. You just complete the square as normal. So I'm going to complete this square. Let me just zoom out a little bit for you. Oh, sorry, just knocked the camera. Just going to complete this square, go around the corner, complete this edge, go around the corner, and then here close here with an invisible join, because that will give you a neat finish if you join a next square over here. How to do an invisible join, I've got a different video for that, but this is how to join along one edge. I'd also like to show you how to join along 2 edges. It's the same idea. I'm just going to first complete this square, and then I'd like to talk to you about the direction of joins. Now if you take a moment to just look at this square that we've joined, you see here I've completed the round. I would now need to do this invisible join, but I haven't done that yet. But let's just look at this square that we joined, and we look at the edge, the border of this square. You see it's going this way, to the left if you're if you're left-handed, to the right if you're right-handed, but you see it falls to one side. If you look at this square that I've joined here, you see it's falling the other way. Now this has to do with where you are when you join the square, because I was joining the square, I was oriented like this. I was here at this point, and I was in essence joining to a square at the top of my work. For this square I've done exactly the same, but my work was the other way around. Again, I've joined this square, this beige square, to the purple square, and the purple square was at the top. And then this join kind of falls down. But what has happened is, because in essence the purple square was in the center and the beige one was at the bottom, and then the white one was at the top, these 2 edges are now falling away from each other, and that can give for a very messy look if you're making a blanket. If you're making a blanket, you want all these joints to be the same way, either facing down or facing right or facing up. It doesn't really matter, but you don't want a blanket where your squares are like this, where some of them fall this way, some of them fall that way, some of them fall up, some of them fall down, all left and right and all going through one another. That gives for a very messy look. So when you're working a pattern where you're doing join as you go, do it systematically. Start in one corner and work over to the other side. Start at the bottom and work over to the top, or at the top and work to the bottom. It doesn't really matter in which way you start, but start in one corner and systematically work your way over in the pattern, because then all these joints will fall the same way, and then that will make for a much cleaner and nicer finish. So that's a big tip I want to give you when doing join as you go. So this one, in essence, I've joined it in the wrong position. A much better place would have been to join it over here, but I've purposefully done this to show you the effect of these joints going in opposite directions. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the join here. We're going to join a square on 2 edges, and for that I've already worked up a blue square. This time we're going to join to the white square and the purple square. So this blue square I want to join on this white edge, and I want to join here on this purple edge. I want to have it in this position here. I've again worked this square up to the first 4 rounds, and I've started on round 5. I've done the first half of one edge, then during this edge we're going to be joining, and during the second edge we're going to be joining. And then this edge will again be free, and that edge will be free. But just as easily I can join it in this way, which means I could now just complete this edge without doing anything, and then join when I work edge number 3 and number 4, and then complete edge number 1. All good, both work equally well. I've worked this square up to the corner stitch. You see here are 2 double crochets in the corner. The first edge of this join is exactly the same as though you're only going to join to 1 square. That's the same as this join that I just showed you. It's in exactly the same way. I'll just quickly show you again. Chain 1, it's the first half of the corner, then pick up, in this case, the white square, the square that you're joining to, and slip stitch into that corner space there. I'm going to show you the start again. So make a double crochet on the one side, but then stop before finishing it, and then go to the first stitch on the other side. So on the white square, pick up that first stitch and pull through. Work a second one, go to the white square again, go to the second stitch. Let me just check, is that the second stitch? Because sometimes it can be a little hard to see. Yes, that was the second stitch. You see that slip stitch was giving me just a little bit of, just throwing me off. So, and then in the second stitch, that stitch there, and then pull through. The third one, I'll just zoom in a bit more so you can see it better. Third one again is in the first stitch here of the edge. So you're joining in the pattern. You're just following the pattern of the square. So this is a full granny square. No bubbles or popcorns or anything like that. But it doesn't matter what your last edge is. In essence, before completing your last stitch, the last yarn over or whatever it is to complete your stitch, you insert your hook in the opposite stitch of the square that you want to join to, and then you complete your stitch. That's the essence of join as you go. So also if this was a single crochet, then you would do exactly the same, or if it was a treble, or if it was a bobble. I'm just going to make a jump in the video because this is the same as you've seen me do before. Make a jump in the video. I'm going to join here, and when I've done all these stitches and I'm at the corner, I'll see you again. I've worked all those stitches, and now to the chain 2 corner space on my blue square. Here I need to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in a normal situation. I'm going to work 2 double crochets, but of course I join them to the opposite side. I do that with the second one also. And now I'm still on the white square. I'm still joining to the white square. So this last one I'm joining to the last stitch on the white square. So you see that's the last double crochet in the white square that I have my hook in. And then pull through all your loops on your hook. And I think I've snagged something somewhere, but I've snagged a little yarn. And there we go. So now I've got all the double crochets connected. Just put that yarn tail away. What you're going to do now is you're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space of the white square. So you're going to slip stitch into that chain 2 space there, and then you're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space of the purple square here, and that way you're going to bridge from the white square to the purple square, and then you can join along this edge in exactly the same way as we've done here. and those two chain twos, the chain 2 is then replaced by those 2 slip stitches. So I'm going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space of the white square. And I turn my work, and now I slip stitch into the chain 2 space of the purple square that I want to go to. So that's in this square here, not that one, this way, the square that I want to join onto. And then in that chain 2 space, join there with a slip stitch also. And now you've joined this entire corner together, and you can continue and join the blue square to the purple square. So it's a double crochet, but before finishing, pick up the first stitch on the other side, very first stitch there, and then complete the double crochet. And you need a second one in that chain 2 corner space, and then connect that to the second stitch. And now you're on to the first stitch here on the edge, that first stitch, and because this is stitch number 3, you join to the third stitch. So it's the stitch that's immediately opposite where you're at the moment on the other side. And then this is exactly the same as what you've done before. So I'm just going to make another jump in the video and then just show you the last corner. There we go. So this is exactly the same. I'm just going to do this join here, and then I'll just see you here for this corner. Completed the join here. I'm at the chain 2 corner space of the blue square. That means 2 more stitches to do. So doing the double crochet, and then in the second last stitch on the other side, let's go through that stitch, and then through the, for the last one, another double crochet in the chain 2 space, and then connect to the very last stitch on the other side. You've now almost completed this side. You need a slip stitch through the chain 2 space of the purple square that you were working in. So slip stitch in there, chain 1, rotate, and now along this edge work your granny square in the pattern that you're working. For me, that is 2 double crochets and in the corner space, and then a double crochet on every stitch. Just going to complete this square and then show you what it looks like. Here also I would still need to do that invisible join. I've got a different video showing you how to do that. But this is the squares that I've worked now. You see I've joined this one, the white I've joined here to the purple, and the blue I've joined to the white and to the purple. And this way you could work an entire pattern with different shapes and sizes. It's especially useful in patterns where you've got split grannies, so grannies with 2 different colors to make geometric shapes. And this join as you go method is just ideal. Also, you can also use this method on hexagons actually, so not just squares but also hexagons or triangles, or whichever shape you have, 5 edges, 6 edges, 3 edges, doesn't matter. 8 edges could also do that. So this join as you go is a really versatile method. So I've shown you how to join on one edge, and I've shown you how to join on 2 edges. This is the way I do join as you go. There are different, just slight variations in different methods. The designers may do this corner just slightly different. There are variations in this, but this is the way I do join as you go. I hope this was a useful video for you, that you feel more comfortable with using this technique yourself. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.